Hey up everybody, Betty's back yet again. Right, today it's the start. I'm going to do my 3 recipes this week are all going to be vegetarian. So I'm starting with a carrot and lentil soup. So I will show you the ingredients and we'll crack on with it. Okay, so we have 4 carrots which I'm going to peel and dice. We have some olive oil. We have 1 tin of tomatoes. We have paprika, some Worcester sauce, some chili flakes. If you don't like, that's optional. You can leave that out if you want, but you only put 1/4 teaspoon in anyway, so there's not a lot in there. Just gives it a nice little bit of a tingle, but if you don't like chilies, obviously don't put it in. Some ground cumin, 1 onion, which obviously I will be peeling and dicing. 2, I can get hold of them, 2 garlic cloves, which again are going to be peeled and crushed. Some tomato puree, 200 grams of red lentils, which I will be washing and rinsing before I use it, and some salt and pepper. Now I'm going to be doing this I'm going to cook it in this, not the slow cooker, the pressure cooker. It's the same thing. Well, it does different things, but you can do this all on the stove top. Just when you come to the stage of cooking the lentils, if you was doing it on the stove top, you'd have to have it with the lid on for about 30 or 40 minutes to make sure they're cooked, whereas I'm going to do it in the pressure cooker. It'll take about 15 minutes to do, but it's the same process apart from that. So anyhow, right, I'll get cracking with my prep and then we'll get cracking with it. Right, done it again. How can you have a soup without any liquid? You please tell me. Answers on a postcard. So you need 1 litre of vegetable stock, which is a litre of boiling water, 1 vegetable stock cube into there. So that is, obviously, you need that at the list at the beginning. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my kasori on to saute, and on high, press start, and I'm going to add the olive oil in there. Not much, about a teaspoon. So that's going in there, along with our carrots, which I've diced reasonably finely, our onion, which I've chopped up, not mega fine, but it's in there. We're going in with the garlic. 1 second, when I can get the garlic in the garlic press. Garlic. And I didn't even get a knife out, look. That's when we forget in the, how can you forget the vegetable stock, man? Do you know? Honestly, I am getting wet. Be a bit of a weird soup without any liquid in it, won't it? Right. So that's that in there. Alright, next to go in is our spices. So we will need, when I can find it, 1 second, 1 teaspoon, so it's 2 teaspoons of ground paprika going into the mix. That's the paprika in. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin going into the mix. Cumin, and this next bit is the chili flakes. You can put in, it says 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm actually going to put half. If you don't like the spice, if you don't like the heat, don't bother, just leave it out. But that'll just give it a nice gentle warmth, to be honest. So, right, where's my spoon? So basically we're going to sweat these off for about 5 minutes until the onions and everything started to soften up a little bit. So this is exactly the same, you could do exactly the same on the stove top. This bit, exactly the same. So I will come back in 5 minutes when that is done. Right, so that's had about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go in next with 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. And just cook that out for about a minute or so. In with these lovely carrots and onions. This will add a nice deep, rich flavour to the soup. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a cook out. Wow, it smells lovely like. Right, so I'm going to put our stock in that I nearly forgot. Trying to make a soup without stock. Dearie me. What am I like? Right, our tin of tomatoes is going in. That is going into there. Right. And our Worcester sauce is going in. To taste. 2 teaspoons, something like that. Into there. And next, give that a bit of a smush around. Next to go in is our lentils, which I have rinsed earlier on. They're going in. I'm not going to add any seasoning. Actually, I'm going to put a bit of pepper in there, but I'm not going to put any salt in. I'm sure I read somewhere that just it stops the lentils cooking properly. I might be wrong. Am I right? So, I'm just going to put some cracked black pepper in, of which we like plenty. Again, that's to taste. So, I'm just going to give that a stir, making sure I've got everything in. Yes, I have, because I know what I'm like. Right. So, we will cancel off the sauté. So at this point, if you was doing it on the stove top, you would now bring it to the boil, turn it down, simmer it, lid on for about 30 to 40 minutes and you'll get the same result. But I'm just going to pressure cook this for about 15 minutes. So hopefully there we go, that's that. So we're on to pressure cook on high for 15 minutes. Press start and away we go. So I'll see you guys shortly. Right, okay, so that's had its 15 minutes, so it's now time to vent. There she blows. So I'll let that die down and we'll have a look and see what it's looking like. Okay, so right, like I said, that's had its 15 minutes. We've just tested the carrots and the lentils to make sure they're cooked, and they're cooked. So all we've got to do now is let that cool down so I can put it in the blender or the food processor, whichever you prefer to use, and then we're going to make it so it's reasonably smooth. So I'll come back when that's cooled down. Right, so that has cooled down nicely. I was going to blend it, but I think I'm actually going to leave it. It's quite nice and chunky, so I think if you blended it, it's going to thicken it up even more, so you'd have to add more water in anyway. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I've added some salt into there. So again, that's to your taste. So I'm going to say that's ready. I'm not going to bother with a blender. I'm just going to leave it as it is. But obviously, if you like it smooth, put it in a blender. Waz it for a few minutes. Waz it until it's smooth, basically. So right, I'm going to serve this up, and it'll be taste testing time. Right, so there we have it. That is my carrot and lentil soup. I've just put a little drizzle of olive oil on the top there and a few croutons. So, right, it's triple T time. Right, taste testing time. I'm going to dig into this. I'm just going to try the soup by itself without any of the croutons or nothing.
What's up, dude? I'm not really sure.
Well, that's nice. A little bit of kick from the chilli. And it's actually quite nice, chunky. I think the last time I did a soup like this, I blitzed it and it goes a bit like puree. So I think we'd have had to add some water in anyway, but that is a good hearty soup. Let's try it with a couple of the croutons. Garlic and herb croutons. Yummy. Absolutely banging. So, if you like the look of this, please give it a thumbs up. Keep all your lovely comments coming, all your lovely recipe ideas. It's a very easy soup to make, as you've seen. Most soups are, to be honest. You don't need any special equipment. Like I said, you don't have to. I've used the pressure cooker, but you don't need to use a pressure cooker. You can do it on the stove top just as easily. So, I will leave it there, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.